Okay, you're hot.
Yeah, we're gonna do this.
Yeah. Go, do it.
It's 101.3 The Big DM, friend. Welcome again inside the show. It's all about the South Carolina Communities Day in Action. We're broadcasting live from Washington, D.C., of course. Got to send a big shout out and a thank you to our friend, Mayor Steve Benjamin. Again, he is now the Director of Public Engagement right here. And when I tell you, just seeing him do his press conference earlier, him telling me, I don't know why you're trying to be so professional, Shamara, trying to act like we're not friends. You know, D.C. is obviously, this is amazing. And I'm here now chatting with South Carolina native Jimmy Anderson. He is an associate at IBM, but more importantly, because you know we live in the state of South Carolina, we have Fort Jackson there. He's also a veteran advocate. Jimmy, welcome to the show. Explain to us what it is that you do, because I'm more of like a civilian. And I don't even know what you do, Jim.
Well, you know, thank you first for having me here. You know, Big DM is, I grew up on Big DM, but I also grew up near Big DM. My house, my childhood home is about 5 minutes away from Big DM, and we talked about that a little earlier. I grew up listening to Quiet Storm as well, late at night, probably about 10 o'clock at night. Way too late for me to be up.
Sending your little girlfriends love.
Oh, no. They said they were behind me listening. Well, so I used to work in the Office of Public Engagement at the White House.
Okay.
I led the president's outreach to veterans in the military community, and so I've been with the president, been with the Secretary of Veterans Affairs, which is the big department that makes sure that we get work done to support veterans and their families. You know, I started at the beginning of the administration, of the Biden-Harris administration. Was a political appointee all the way up until about a month ago. And so, you know, it is, my work every day was to go and take the message that the president was delivering to veterans and take it to our constituency groups and take it directly to the American public and to our veterans all across the country.
And now that we're here today for obviously investing in America, and I know that that plan is packaged with some gold nuggets for veterans. What message are you wanting veterans to receive being a veteran advocate?
Yeah, it's, when you think of investing in America and some of the core tenets of it, whether it's infrastructure, the bipartisan infrastructure law and the implementation of that, or if it's the implementation of the Inflation Reduction Act or the PACT Act, which is the big veterans bill that was passed last August. All this is really investing in America. Every thing that, if it's for infrastructure, it's going to also impact and support veterans and their families. And so I always want to make it clear to folks that all these things that happen that impact the American public writ large have a huge value-added impact to our veteran community. And I think it's good to just talk about the veterans things like the PACT Act, but it's also good to talk about the big courts. I mean, you think of small business, right?
Yeah.
Small business applications over the last 2 years were the highest in recorded history. We have veterans that have service-disabled, veteran-owned small businesses through the Small Business Administration. And without the president and without the administrator for SBA, we wouldn't be able to have such an impact on the veterans that we support and give back to those who have served us so well.
And obviously, investing in America definitely means also investing in small businesses, SBAs. Jimmy, is there a message that you want to give to the folks out there that are back at home in South Carolina? You know, you grew up 5 minutes away from the station. You're now a veteran advocate. You're in your 30s, right?
Yes.
There's probably some young man out there listening feeling a little discouraged. What's your message to that man as we continue to you know, push that message of investing in America, since we're getting jobs in South Carolina? Even a vet might feel discouraged. What is your message as a young man?
The first thing I'll say is, I'll say two things, right? The first is that this president has been committed to advancing equity and support to every community, and particularly our Black and Brown communities. And so that was one of the things that I was always motivated by in this role at the White House, was that in everything we do, Secretary Buttigieg talked about it earlier, if we're going to make changes in our infrastructure, we need to make sure that we are making those with a mindful sort of eye and brain towards how it's going to impact Black communities, right? Very clearly. And so what I would say to that young person in South Carolina, just outside of Hopkins, I didn't grow up in Hopkins, but I did grow up in Southeast Columbia, and what I would say to them is that this president is about as laser focused as any president that we've ever seen about embedding equity and about making sure that this is inclusive, that there are inclusive policies, and that we are doing that and still investing in America. It's not an either or. It's not a false choice. It's that we can do both, and this president has been committed to that since day one. And so that's what I would say. The second thing is South Carolina runs deep in D.C. I'm from South Carolina. I mean, you see Steve, you know, the good mayor.
That's Mayor Steve.
That's Mayor Steve.
That's Mayor Steve. Mayor Steve Benjamin.
is running the Office of Public Engagement. We see folks through every piece of this administration that are from South Carolina.
Yeah.
And so I would say that there's hope if there's something that you want to do and give back and serve government or serve in the military, just know that South Carolina runs deep in D.C.
Jimmy Anderson, thank you so much again, Associate IBM, Veteran Advocate, all while here again at the White House Friend. It's South Carolina Communities in Action Day, and it's all about, of course, investing in America. It's a big deal.